Also said DOGE shared data on third-party cloud servers that are, quote, outside SSA's security protocols, so the agency doesn't know what information was shared or if it still exists on the server. The latest disclosure seemed to confirm some key concerns first raised in a whistleblower complaint last summer filed by the agency's chief data officer. That whistleblower, Chuck Borges, involuntarily resigned from government in August and filed a retaliation complaint late last year. I spoke with him earlier alongside his lawyer, Deborah Katz. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So, Chuck, before we get into the details, these new details, this new filing rather, confirms what first you shared when you came forward in your whistleblower complaint months ago. What did you think when you saw all this, especially after months of government denials?
I'll be honest, I was pretty disappointed. This is a situation where the public loses. My disclosure essentially outlined three concerns that I had. The first was that DOGE employees had inappropriate access to our data. The second was that they violated a temporary restraining order. And that the third was that they had uploaded sensitive Social Security data to a cloud server without adequate security controls. In all three of those instances, the public state is at risk. So to have validation of those first two concerns is disappointing, especially in light of the fact that these could have been investigated and uncovered months ago.
Well, speaking to that timeline, Deborah, the court filing was on January 16. There were a number of corrections to the previous testimony from agency officials. What's your understanding of why it took so long for the government to correct those previous testimonies?
Because the government's not telling us the truth. I still don't think we know the full story. The allegations that Mr. Borges raised are quite serious. And he raised them with the federal agency that is responsible, Office of Special Counsel, for investigating his disclosures. And rather than investigating it, they've kicked it to a different agency. In terms of his retaliation claims, they haven't investigated it at all. So we have a situation in a very real sense where the fox is guarding the hen house.
Let's talk about what's at stake here. Chuck, you mentioned in some of the details of what you came forward to share. Broadly speaking, what are the dangers, as you see them, of sharing that kind of personal data on a cloud server?
Right. So Social Security data is your most sensitive personal information. It's the information that's on your birth certificate. So, when you apply for a mortgage and you have to answer security questions, and it's what's your mother's maiden name and what's your place of birth and what's your father's middle name. All of that information is held resident at Social Security. Mm-hmm. So to put that personally identifiable information that can be used to propagate identity theft, mortgage fraud, steal small business loans, impersonate dead people into an environment where it could be downloaded or accessed inappropriately or stolen or shared. It's a risk to literally every single living and dead American's ability to have a daily life.
And we should point out, we don't know what was on the cloud server, correct?
So my disclosure pretty specifically alleges that a database called the Numident, which is the master database of your personal information, was uploaded to an AWS cloud environment. Now, that is different from the court filing last week, which resided around specific data access for specific DOGE employees. But if those first two things that I alleged were correct, I'm very concerned about the third one, especially when you're normally protecting data. It is very easy to produce documentation that shows that the data has been safe and secure all along. Mm-hmm.